Hello and welcome to Chump Change, episode 11. My name is Pree, and with me.
Is Lorenzo.
Alrighty, anyways, going back to normal talk here. We got a couple topics to talk about today. My first one, I want to just get right into it here. My first one is nostalgia, and to bring it back from last week. Last week we talked about our old games that we like playing as a kid, and we talked about moderation. This week, I want to talk about nostalgia. So, from psychologytoday.com, by the way, my sources are not very good at all, but they say it could be argued that nostalgia is a form of self deception and that it invariably involves distortion and idealization of the past, not least because the bad or boring bits are erased from our memory, leaving only the peak experiences. If overindulged, nostalgia can give rise to a utopia that never existed and never can exist, but that is pursued at all costs, sapping all life and joy and potential from the past. For many people, paradise is not so much a place to go as the place they think they came from. So, how you feel about that?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
You weren't paying attention. I know. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I spaced out because my initial thought was, man, we're starting off this chump change with like a lecture.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Anyways, so talking about nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we talked about games we played as kids. Have you played any of those games from your childhood that weren't the AAA games at the time?
Yeah.
Like, not Kingdom Hearts, not...
Absolutely.
Do you happen to know anything off the top of your head?
A lot of them are PlayStation and Game Boy titles. One of them is like... I'll do a crossover one from the Game Boy, and then I'll give a different one for PlayStation. I played Spyro Orange, which was a crossover between Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon for the Game Boy series, where the characters of both universes would go to the other one's universe. And then you'd play a bunch of mini games as well as the platforming part of it. And I used to think, like, man, I really love this game. This was a really fun game for me to play as a kid. And then I found my Game Boy and Spyro Orange in my storage when I brought all my stuff home. And I just thought, man, this was a really bad game. No wonder I didn't finish it.
Hey, have you ever played, what's that Spyro and the other dragon one? You remember the girl dragon?
Oh, yeah. Like, that was like the later 2000s that they were doing those.
Yeah.
There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, anyway, so I remember that Spyro game.
Mm-hmm.
I played it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of Devil May Cry. All of those games had really bad camera angles.
Yes. I don't think there's a single PlayStation 2 game or like that era of games that had good camera angles, and that's why we're getting a bunch of remasters or reboots right now. Like Resident Evil 4 is literally getting a remake in the next week, I think, as of recording this.
See, just thinking about the past, right? You get the nostalgia factor of, man, as a kid, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it isn't so prevalent in games, right? Because I feel like once we play the game again in a later time, we're like, man, that game looks like hot garbage.
Yeah, the magic is gone.
Yeah, but I feel like in movies and like shows, do you feel that nostalgia factor and like the replayability a lot more?
No, for movies, because I feel like my memory with like my favorite movies, my memory of them or my ability to recall the memories of watching them is so fine that, like, I could probably quote Iron Man 2 line for line, and same with James Cameron's Avatar, just because those are 2 movies I watched a lot as a kid.
Is that the blue people, by the way?
Yeah, the blue cat people.
Oh.
Not the bad M. Night Shyamalan Airbender one with
the live
with
action.
with Ung.
Uh-huh. Wasn't he Ong Bak? Is that the same guy I'm thinking of?
He was just Ong, not Aang.
Oh.
Ong, but I call him Ung. But yeah,
but yeah, no, bringing bringing back to the subject here.
but yeah, no movies. I feel like my recollection of them is very fine, so it's hard for me to like be like, oh, I'm nostalgic for this movie. It's just kind of, oh yeah, I'm watching this movie again. Like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch this movie.
Yeah, see, so there's a video I was watching. Not video, I was reading an article of apparently when we are stressed or when we are just needing of a safe place,
Mm-hmm.
it might be beneficial to turn to those like things that we know that work really well, like your favorite anime or your favorite movie or your favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, or we tend to gravitate towards those things
Right.
because we know there's gratification there.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. You know how many times I watched this anime called Shokugeki no Soma? I've watched, I believe it's the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, where Soma gets training with the... Man, you know, it's my favorite episode yet. I don't even know the name of the characters. It's the pink-haired dude.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute banger. I've watched that 100 times. Same episode.
What have I watched over and over and over again? I've watched.
You know,
Good.
Sorry, I was gonna say. You know, for some reason, I feel like it's a new episode every single time I watch it. Maybe it's because I forgot what happened in the episode, but I was
gonna say you might need to watch it again based on the fact you couldn't recall one of the characters' names.
Man, he's the most important character in my eyes too.
Man. But I was gonna say, like, I've rewatched Yu-Gi-Oh! GX a couple times, not including the 4th season, which was only in Japan, which I'm trying to like go through right now. There's not a lot of. I try not to go back on shows, honestly. I'm trying to think. What did I also? Oh, I was rewatching. Or I guess it's been a while. It's been like 2.5 years now. When I was in Nevada, I was rewatching Rosario Vampire.
That's actually, I think, my first or second, like, more recent, like when I was a little older, like instead of like 7 and my dad was playing Rurouni Kenshin on the VGA or the VHS.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like when we had on demand.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was watching, because I was talking with my girlfriend and I was like, this was one of the first animes I watched, and I like all those memes of like anime when you watch it, anime when your parents walk in. That is that anime, and because it was on Netflix, and I didn't think back then, at least, like when Netflix started being VOD, I didn't think that anything bad would be on Netflix. The term ecchi didn't mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like laying in bed one day. I was like, what's something I haven't watched in like a lifetime? The first time I watched Rosario Vampire was like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
It was literally almost a decade when I rewatched it.
Who's your favorite character?
I like Vampire Mocha.
What?
Yeah.
I actually like, what's her name? Mitsuri?
Yeah, no, I know you like the Snow Lady.
The Snow Lady is the best one. That's like the peak of that show.
I like Snow Mom better than Snow Lady.
What?
Yeah.
How could you, man?
I also think Kurumu. I think Kurumu is very overrated.
Which one is that? The little sister, right?
No, the succubus, I believe.
Oh, the succubus.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you what the little witch girl's name is.
Yeah, I totally forgot about her. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, see, so bringing up the Reddit post, right? Because in the notes that we have, I actually posted a Reddit post, and it talks about were old games just better, or is nostalgia really that strong? For the actual guy posting his initial post, I didn't really think anything of it, but it's the guy who commented that got 131 likes that got me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the older games were unrefined. Excuse me. People were developing stuff that just seemed good and had no real idea how it would pan out. It was the Wild West that had a lot of experimentation and risk associated with it. At this point, genres have already been defined. People largely know what works and what hasn't. There's far less creativity and far more refinement. You can still find a lot of creativity, but you won't get it from the biggest game genres and developers. How does that make you feel? Do you agree with this guy's statement?
Yeah, actually, I feel like games from earlier in our lives were a lot more out there. Whereas even AAA titles today are very formulaic. Like they like God of War, right? God of War to continue had to call upon a different mythos to continue that world. Whereas I feel like the original God of War series was very much a I want to say darker spin, but like nothing about the Greek mythology is sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. It was definitely a more naturally evil world that God of War took place in. And then, well, like to cap off the God of War one is like I think that the last two God of War games were really good. It's just it had to call upon something that was established in order to put a good spin on it. Like
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought the God of War Ragnarok game was very good. I thought the story was very good. It's just like all of the tropes and all of the character progression for like every character that you saw, it was kind of obvious to me. And then like you have the reverse side of that coin where you have Call of Duty Modern War 2, except it's not Modern Warfare 2. It's actually Modern Warfare. What would that be? Like 7?
Yeah. How Modern Warfare like revamped. Yeah. When Blizzard Activision came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me. I was very surprised.
And then
I was like, wait, Modern Warfare? Oh, you mean Modern Warfare 2? Wait, you mean Airport? Like, oh, not Airport? Oh, okay.
And then, like, we always joke that we get a Call of Duty game every year, every 2 years. Now we've actually gotten a Call of Duty game every year.
It's not a joke, dude.
Like
they know the cycle.
Since what? Modern Warfare 1? Like the remaster, or the new Modern Warfare 1 came out? We've actually gotten a Call of Duty game every year.
You know what's interesting? Do you remember, like, the time frames on how often consoles come out?
Console, like the actual machines?
The game consoles, yeah. Do you think we're supposed to be hitting PlayStation 6 yet, or not yet?
No. I think the lifespan of these consoles have always been like 5 to 7, 8 years. But
yeah, see, my problem, PS3 had a whole bunch of games. Remember when everyone made the jokes on PS4 only having like 3 games that people would actually want to play?
Yeah, and then everything ended up being ports of older games. Like, that's when GTA started doing their, hey, we're going to recycle this game for 20 years.
And then PlayStation 5 is running to the same issue, or do you think it's gotten a little better?
So, this might piss off a lot of people, especially any family members, if they're listening. I sold my PlayStation 5, and you know exactly why. We had a very deep conversation when it happened, because you were there with me.
Yeah.
I loved playing Spider-Man. I loved playing Miles Morales, and I still have my PlayStation account. I did not sell that and the games associated with it. I cannot stand, or I couldn't bear to stand the fact that this expensive console was sitting on my shelf next to my desk, and I probably used it more before I moved into this house than when I lived with Pree. It was absolutely infuriating to me, because I didn't think by the time I moved, there still wouldn't have been any additional games that came out that I wanted to hold out for. And now there's games coming out this year or next year that I do want to play for the PlayStation 5.
See, do you think that's more of a, I have a PC, therefore I don't need to buy it on console?
Very much so. I think if I can buy it on PC, I could usually get a better experience. But I do know, like, especially watching people like Uberhacks or Nova, and like, crap happens. Like, sometimes your game just doesn't work on PC no matter what you do. That's not your fault. So
freaking game developers. Freaking AMD and NVIDIA.
Yeah, I like, if I can play it on my PC, which most games I want do come out for my PC, absolutely, I'm going to play it on PC. It's just I couldn't find a reason to play my PlayStation. Even the PlayStation Now, when it like the servers to play games cloud versions, like I was trying to play Sly Cooper on the cloud version because that's how it was offered. It felt so bad playing it. And to go back into the nostalgia conversation, Sly Cooper's one of those games I had nostalgia for, much like Jack and Dexter. And it just felt so bad playing it.
Wait, like input lag or?
Like, I have probably top tier internet in this area, and I was still getting buffering playing on the server.
Man, yeah, that's really tough.
Like our old house, I could justify the streaming not being fast enough for that. There's no reason the PlayStation 5 hooked up directly to Ethernet should have been lagging here. And that was before I had multiples of systems plugged into the Ethernet here.
That is. Hey, you know what? Maybe because that's still a relative new experience. So hopefully they get that done a little better, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about Steam and sometimes Xbox. I think Xbox has the edge on everyone right now. I think Microsoft is very good at what they do. But like even Steam's, like we recorded a game yesterday that required you to do the share play. And I was getting a lot of lag and the footage might be bad because of it.
Yeah. So, PC or console?
PC.
Is it an age thing? Would you give your kid a PC or would you give your kid a console?
I'd give my kid a console just because I won't, like, I'm not going to give my kid a bad, or I'll put it in better perspective just because this is more relevant to me today.
Because you got a little brother.
I have a little brother. He is now 7. I would give him a console, and in fact, he does have a Nintendo Switch. The parts that I would give him to optimize his gaming experience, I would lose my bananas if he broke a computer I made for him instead of breaking his $200 Nintendo Switch.
Hey, I'm not going to lie with you. So my parents, they bought me and my sister Game Boy Advances, right?
Mm-hmm.
I broke the Game Boy Advance. Man, I got lectured.
Well, of course.
Man.
Because it's a responsibility
they were so mad
thing.
at me.
It's a responsibility
thing. Kid, why did you break it on the floor? And after that day, I never had anger issues ever again. For some reason, it just left my body. I don't know what it was. I felt like, I was crying that night for some reason, and then I woke up and it was just my anger was.
You're a different person.
I became a different person.
Yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, if little brother did break his Nintendo Switch or broke anything given to him, it would be like reprimand him, be like, you need to be more responsible. In fact, he used to be the kind of kid that he'd put his iPad on the ground, stand on his iPad while he was playing with toys.
Whoa!
Yeah, no, like it was insane, and like sometimes it irritates me being at my family's house just because like they don't really reprimand him or punish him the way that I was as a kid. Which
yeah, right.
I try not to attribute to like old eldest sibling syndrome. I like to be like, grandma and mom and uncle are just different humans now.
Yeah, they learned from you. They're like, what happened with Lorenzo? Let's not repeat that.
Which, granted, I think I turned out pretty okay in the grand scheme of things.
That's okay. They might not think so,
huh? No.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, well, then that's what I hope for my little brother. But yeah, I would absolutely give a younger child a pre-built console instead of a computer, just because computers do cost upwards of $1,000 these days. That's not a small investment.
Yeah, well, the thing I like about consoles is when the console has updates or the console has like or not updates, but the console normally never has issues.
Yeah, no, it's optimized for its own functions.
Yeah, I'm like, if the kid says, "Man, this doesn't feel like 60 FPS," well, kid, guess what? You don't know any better. That's what you get.
I don't think that's a bad thing though, because like, despite being a little egghead, my little brother's very smart. He's very intelligent for a young kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's most kids these days because parents throw iPads at them and video game consoles so young at them. I think that would benefit my brother. I just don't think he has the responsibility nor the space where he lives to have even a micro ATX computer with a monitor in his like space to do things. You know, when his play area is a lot cleaner or it's downsized a lot, then I can go, you know what? I'll donate some old parts. I'll upgrade my computer, and I'll put together like a little baby's first gaming rig for him when he's like 10.
You know what, kid? You're gonna play on integrated graphics, and you're gonna love League of Legends. You're gonna learn to love League of Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Even that, right? That might be a better option. Like, you have my girlfriend's old gaming laptop.
Yep.
And the play there might be I buy you an upgrade, and I take that and I give that to him because it's seen miles.
Oh yeah, see, yeah. When I was a kid and I had all of those hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
My father was the type of person to buy a. I want to say a Dell, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really like that. He would usually buy the machine from Costco or Best Buy.
Right.
On like around Black Friday, or really was like around tax return season. And he would go up to the guy and say, "Hey, what is good for gaming?" And then back then, graphics cards were more enthusiast.
Yeah.
In my world, right? You know, my dad's like, "Oh, you're gonna buy me a graphics card?" I was like, "Yeah." But yeah, no, back then he would buy all the Dells, so it's all integrated graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would say, "Man, the game is running a little slow." Looking back at it, I'm like, "Dad, you're playing World of Warcraft on 12 FPS.
You were playing World of Warcraft on an Intel Celeron with 4 gigabytes of RAM.
I'm like, "Dad." Back then it was like for me and like the rest of the guys that were online, it was very common for them to play with integrated graphics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For some reason, excuse me, I feel like I gotta sneeze. They have a raid, right, of 25 people.
Mm.
The game is extremely lagging, but while they're doing it, they're like, "Man, this is great, man." Like they don't even know what they're looking at anymore. They're like, "Yeah, this is great, man. I love it."
Yeah, and it's insane to me because like my first computer gaming experience was with Water Bottle Man and Brother Man. We were playing Minecraft. I want to say we were playing beta back in the day, but the earliest version I vividly remember is 1.3.2.
Yeah.
We were playing early Minecraft. We were playing Gmod and CS:GO. And looking back on it, the laptop I was playing it on was like an i3 4th gen, maybe. That might even be still too new for that time. Here, I can actually look. Dell Red Top laptop.
All right, while you're looking that up, I'm going to tell you the story of Water Bottle Man. So, Water Bottle Man actually used to play on this pink, like, notebook. It was really small, like a really small laptop. And then, my dad bought a new computer, so I gave him my old one. And he got the deal from Costco, right? It was the monitor and computer combo.
Mm.
The monitor had lines going through the sides. The monitor was like, when it gets hot, it don't work. When it gets cold, it don't work. And I was like, "Hey, Paulo, that's all I got. So, you're gonna have to live with it like I did." So that Water Bottle Man, Paulo, he was really, really,
dude,
I would say well seasoned for the gaming computers now.
Well, and look at him now. The hardware that he runs is leagues above
14,
what both of us run.
1440p, 3090. He said, "Look, I'm never going back to that."
I did find the laptop that I first started playing games on. It had integrated graphics, Intel Graphics Media Accelerator.
Yeah.
Intel Pentium dual core T4300.
Look at that. That's pretty good, man. You know,
Like,
you got integrated graphics. You can't complain.
no, I mean, I don't know. Dude, that system is so old, it ran DDR2.
Whoa.
It had a 1 megabyte memory cache.
Hey, you know what? That's all the cash it needed.
Back then, absolutely.
You know, hey, you're still playing those games with all those guys, right? You know, like we laugh about Roblox, but hey, you know what? If that's all your computer can run, that's a great game. You know?
Yeah, I mean, dude. Here, versus what's in the server computer? AMD A10 9700. Let's benchmark that against the server computer.
Server computer wins automatic.
Well, yeah, it's newer. It's a 2016 processor. This is 24% better than the laptop that I had. And it barely does its job.
See, look, it isn't about who wins the race. It's about who finishes.
But, like, think about that, bro. That's insane that my dad let me use a laptop like that. A dual-core computer that's almost as strong as, what is this, a 10-core 2016 computer? Like, what the hell?
Hey, no, it isn't. He lets you use that type of hardware. It's, man, the hardware didn't really increase, you know?
Yeah.
Or it didn't really increase as much as we want to expect it did.
Well, yeah, because quad-core, pentacore, like all those all the extra processing cores didn't happen until what? After 2016? 2016 forward?
Hey, man. Look, you know this, my dad's old computer, right, was a Dell i7-6700 or 6400. I don't remember the numbers.
Yeah.
But I upgraded him to a i5 10th gen. When I actually got the computer in this room and I'm actually using it, that i7-6700.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it works, okay? I might not be the best. I might not have the best processing power, but I tell you what, this little engine is the one that could.
Yeah.
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 All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and talk about
breaking news.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about your next topic.
So, because of what you and I are currently doing, I think it's safe to say what we are now, right? Just because we dropped the store last week.
Sure.
We are actually an official company. Big Chumps is a company. This is something that Pree and I are both doing on the side. It's scary because yesterday, Linus Tech Tips, the Linus Media Group, their company, all of their channels were hacked and the main channel got banned from YouTube. This is scary, to me at least, because of the means that the hacker got, or the means that the hacker went through to get there. So what happened was an employee that has relevant access to all of the LTT YouTube channels, they were sent something that was supposed to be from a sponsor. And the employee had unzipped a file, and they opened what was apparently a PDF. Nothing happened. The person went about their day. What had happened was a script was ran when they opened this supposed PDF, and the session token was swiped from the computer along with any other local data. Essentially, that session token allowed that person to log into YouTube as if they were logging in from the employee's computer itself. The Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge browsers both said, oh, this is just this computer, even though it's a different IP address and all that stuff. You're using the same session token. Surely this is the same computer. So, essentially what happened was overnight, the hacker had privated a bunch of LTT videos, and they had started running what looked like a video about or a stream about evil, or sorry, they had opened a stream with Elon Musk talking to a bunch of different people about crypto. And there was a link in the description about, hey, you send us a piece of crypto, we'll double whatever you send us. Could have been a full crypto coin. It could have been, I think it was specifically Bitcoin, but it could have been a full Bitcoin. Why would you ever send anyone that ever on the internet? It could have been a fraction of a Bitcoin. They would double it for free. Which doesn't make sense. But essentially this happened, and after watching Ludwig talk about it, I think Moist talked about it, and Linus Tech Tips actually posted a video about it. It was interesting to me because at my job, we talk a lot about cybersecurity and like how mission critical it is that you report phishing or emails that don't look right. Like, I get tons of spam emails every day. Personal account, business account, the account I give to businesses personally. Like, my credit card union and my bank. I get tons of emails that look like phishing. Or it's like, oh, your account's been compromised. Press this link to reset your password. Because I never accidentally want to do a Trojan horse. Like, put my password in to reset. And then it actually redirects me to the proper website after I did that.
Yeah.
And that's scary to me because it's like, dude. Granted, Big Chumps isn't big enough for anyone to do that to us or want to do that to us, hopefully.
All right,
that's scary.
So in the video, by the way, by Linus Tech Tips, he does talk about small creators and some small creators that actually it happened to them and they weren't able to get their account back.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it on Facebook, actually. So if you ever heard of Kev Jumba,
mm-hmm.
There's a couple months back or some recent time, it actually happened to Kev Jumba, and I was like, man, it's on Facebook. Like, oh, okay. Like, I'm a little surprised, but you know, it also happened to like Valkyrie a couple months back, or almost half a year back. Yeah, it happened to Valkyrie as well. It's so interesting to me. I actually don't like doing the remember me on any of my passwords. I actually don't like saving passwords. I do have a little like piece of paper basically with all of my notes on it, or with all of my passwords on it, right? Mm-hmm. It's just stored away underneath the whatever. But I honestly think that that's a good way. Two-step authentication is cool. It was just the way that the hackers got into that account was very, like, not suckers, like how you're a sucker, you fell for that.
Mm-hmm. But well, I mean, it was right, because that's what phishing. Yeah. That's what I think the term that Ludwig used was, it's spear phishing, but phishing as in PHISHING.
Yeah, like it's a very cruel, not cruel, but
no, it's cruel.
It's cruel.
You sent this employee of a YouTube channel. You know this person's an employee, or you know this is a business email for this 15 million subscriber YouTube account. You sent them a sponsorship email with the hopes that they would actually open the thing, not noticing that, one, you zipped a PDF, but also that you went through the painstaking effort of making the email look legit, the email address look like legit. You went through all this work. It's malicious. It's absolutely malicious.
Yeah. In comparison to other things they can do with it, very not as cruel as it could have been. But poor very bad. Yes, very bad.
Linus Sebastian he literally showed. Granted, he censored his junk in his butt. He literally shows in the video. He woke up at 3 a.m. He was walking with his dangling hanging out, just to make sure that he fixed this problem. Like, for him and his wife, that is their business. That is all of their money, all of their investment is in that company. It's safe to say that they are a multi-million-dollar company just based on the fact that they own, I think, millions of dollars worth of property alone. It's insane.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah. And it's funny because I always joke with my coworkers because one of them is like super into the cybersecurity world. And he's always like, well, they could do this and they could do this. And I always laugh him off because like the examples that you're giving are so out there. There's no reason for you to worry about that because the average person shouldn't be like, everyone should be aware of what they open. Everyone should fear for their internet being compromised. The average person is not going to be targeted though. There are specific demographics that are targeted, like old people. There's a bunch of scammers who try and confuse old people about Amazon or Target or whatever.
7-Eleven customers.
Yeah,
ATM users.
There are
credit card
demographics.
swiping is even. Credit card swiping is even.
But okay,
bigger,
so
to be honest.
Credit card swiping is so unintrusive though. Like literally. So the way that it works, if you have a debit card, you're actually not insured for what people spend on your account. Because that's just hard cash. They're spending their money.
Yeah, you're not FDIC insured. Yes.
Every time my credit card, or not my credit card, every time my debit card has been swiped, whether it's the physical or a digital copy of my debit card has been swiped, Chase has always canceled the transactions or reversed the transactions, or they gave me back my money, even if it was finalized, even if the payment was processed. They always covered me.
See, you know what's crazy? So I actually went to the gas station not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was very cautious. So I tried to put my card into the swiper. It wasn't going in smoothly.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Look, I'm just going to the pump, like the next pump in the front.
Yeah.
And even then, maybe I should have just walked inside and just done it inside.
Yeah.
But if something's fishy, trust your gut.
That's even worse, though. So, the place that I used to live in Nevada, there is a gas station in that town called Mavericks. I don't know if Mavericks is a national brand or if it's just a Nevada brand. But I went into this gas station years ago before I lived there when I was visiting. And I had bought myself a Red Bull, a snack, and I think a Powerade or something. Because we were going on the road. We were going to power all the way home to make it a home before something we had to do. Not even an hour into that trip, my card was swiped at the Mavericks. And I think to myself, where would my card have been picked up? I've only used my card one time this entire trip. And the only other place I ever used my card was work because I worked at a grocer. So after I boiled it down, when I was on the phone with the Chase representative, I said, hey, they show you IP addresses, right? And they're like, yeah, they actually showed where the transaction came from. I looked up what the cluster of IP addresses in that area should have been. I said the first two numbers, and they said, how'd you know? I'm like, because it was this specific gas station. That's the only place I used my card. Every other transaction I did, I gave my dad cash and he used his card.
Freaking Mavericks.
So it's like, you're not safe at a pump because there's people who, in the dead of night, will install skimmers on pumps and ATMs. You're not safe if you go inside because these guys are also installing skimmers on top of PEDs. It's insane.
See, cash is king, huh?
Cash is king. I just hate hearing cash because I've also been in situations where I've been held up for everything in my wallet.
Yep. I don't know. Anything security-wise nowadays, it's up in the air.
I'm just gonna rubber band a wad of cash to my balls at this point.
Oh my goodness.
You know, every time I go to buy a Slurpee at 7-Eleven, I gotta reach in my pants to get out a 5.
Hey, you're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to say that. But yeah, but you know, talking about trips.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is the week.
Yeah.
The week of our YCS in LA. So I actually have something to talk about because of that.
Mm.
And I want to talk about performance anxiety.
It happens in most men between 18 and 32.
Let's see here. Alrighty. So, just to give a great. Is this great? Anyways.
Is it great?
to cite psychcentral.com. They said performance anxiety is common. In the world of music alone, as many as 60% of professional musicians may experience symptoms. So you're not alone. Anxiety symptoms can be managed, and help is also available if you feel the need of professional support. All right, and I just actually want to go through some of these tips to overcome performance anxiety. My favorite one that we actually use before each podcast is positive self-talk. And they recommend, it says, Green recommends reminding yourself of the reasons why you're likely to do well and how it won't be the end of the world if you make a mistake.
I don't agree. If I lose my first set, that is the end of the road. My trip is over.
Hey, man, you know, for me, we do what is the guy's name?
Who?
The This My Song.
This My Song. I don't remember his name, actually. He's saved somewhere in my YouTube.
Buff Corral?
Oh, yeah, Buff Corral. There you go.
Buff Corral. Yeah, so that's what we do. We say, this my stream, this my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe that does help my anxiety before we turn on the button. Before I see the red flashing on the bottom right of my screen. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree.
Do you think it helps you?
I think I'm very used to being in front of the camera these days. That's just because of streaming, though. In terms of the trip, I wouldn't even say it's performance anxiety because I'm not afraid to go out there and play. My problem is just the nature of the game that we're playing. There's no way to be prepared for every option.
Yeah.
Like that. It's literally just, hey, man, it either goes my way or it doesn't. That's where I have an anxiety because, the majority of the portion is out of my hands if I win or not.
That's okay. You know, talking about portions and us being big chumps, number 5 on the list says, food can bring some sense of comfort when you're distressed. Hey, man, you know that Taco Bell Chalupa Crunch Wrap might help us de-stress and de-anxiety tech.
I think my brain will be less stressed, and then another part of my body will be very stressed.
Yeah, you know, my liver is going to be very unhappy with me with the amount of food I just intaked.
I think specifically for Taco Bell, a lower part of my body will be a lot less or a lot more stressed.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural that you want to avoid things that cause you distress, but Green cautions that is not in your best interest. Here. Avoiding a situation that triggers anxiety is understandable. However, doing it repeatedly can worsen the problem. Hey, man, do you ever have a dream where some guy's chasing you? You had that dream before?
No. Never.
I had that dream a lot. Anyways, I was a kid and I would always run away and hope to wake up. I've grown a little older and I know just to run at him or it really. I don't know if it's a person. It's kind of just a black figure.
Yeah.
I always just run at it and hope for the best.
Okay.
Face your fears.
Well, okay, that's not applicable to me because I'm facing my fears anyways. I have to go on this business trip now.
We have to go, man. It's okay. Look, number 2 is guided imagery. Right here. So guided imagery is a therapeutic technique that uses a script to help you create positive mental images and thoughts to boost relaxation. The only thing I can think of is you go into the hospital, and the hospital nurse says, think of the Hawaii ocean and the waves crashing around the shore. All you hear...
What kind of nurse is this?
No, but think about it, right? And then, like, as she's telling you some calming story, right, she stabs you with a needle.
What the hell?
Right? You know, just to get your mind off of off of the procedure that's going on, right?
Talking about the nurses that give me my yearly flu shot.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Are you that person to need that?
Not anymore, but they definitely used to try to distract me as a kid.
Yeah, I know. So imagery, guided imagery might be the way to go.
The only imagery I'm worried about is the imagery of me winning my sets. And to that end, for the rest of this podcast, I will be shuffling Yu-Gi-Oh cards in my hand.
Oh no. You know, that's what I'm scared of the most. I'm scared we got a bad draw, and that's why we lose. We don't lose because we misplayed. We lose because we had a bad draw.
No, you know what scares me the most? Because you always talk crap because I get like very fortunate draws IRL or in Master Duel.
Yeah.
I get very fortunate draws every time I practice on my own. Which tells me I'm going to get that 1 in 10 chance when I go there.
Hey, you know... Whew. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, that's why.
Hey, see, what I'm thinking about is, all right, let's say it's a 2-day event. Sorry, it's a 2-day event. Let's say we drop out or we get booted right out of the ladder on day 1. Are we going to day 2?
We should, because there's other things to do.
But I feel like we're gonna so if we end early, day 1. Do you feel like there's something new that's going to be there day 2?
Well, no, not in the sense of the actual tournament, but like the public events and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be other stuff. We're also going to be in LA, and we're still going to have the room for a whole other night. We might as well just go film something else.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, look, we're going to go to...
I'm gonna tweet Ludwig, be like, "Hey man, we're in LA. You want some food?"
We're gonna start. We're gonna start just doing some other things. We're gonna go to the pier. We're gonna make the vlog more vloggy. 2 guys walking the pier side by side.
Ludwig, I know your Subaru sandbar just got stolen, but can we do like a pimp my ride kind of montage video of your Subaru sandbar?
Man. Well, do you have any other cool topics to talk about?
You kind of blasted through your first few. You completely skipped your first one though, and then I can talk about what I did the other day. I took Lucy, my dog, to the vet. She was not happy at all. As soon as we walked into the vet, I've never had this experience with my dogs before. As soon as we entered the vet, she started shaking uncontrollably. I've never had that experience with a dog. I've never had a dog that was so scared of the vet that she just started shaking in her owner's arms uncontrollably.
Yeah, my dog just starts barking like crazy and tries to bite the lady that's trying to take her in.
Yeah, luckily Lucy was very well behaved. She does have a little bit of a knee problem in both of her knees, one more so than the other.
Both of her knees, like the front knees or the back knees?
Her back knees. She has patellar luxation. Essentially, that means that her kneecaps will displace themselves. It doesn't really exist in her left rear leg, but it does very much exist in her right one. So that was something that the doctor recommended we get her surgery for. Not like anytime soon, but definitely in the future. So that's a thing. But other than that, she seemed very well behaved. She was a bit timid, which tells me that she had been to the vet before, at least as a puppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an experience that I had. I haven't had to take a dog to the vet in a very long time. And also, that's just my life update this week with my dog. She has old lady knees and she needs surgery.
Alrighty, so for my actual first topic,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's on the list here, it's actually going to be, as fast as I can scroll down this page, it's going to be a yes or no. I don't want you to think too hard.
Okay.
Answer as fast as you can.
All right. Should I close my eyes so I can visualize what you're going to say?
Sure.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about pizza toppings.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to yay or nay.
Okay.
All right, ready to begin?
Go.
Pineapple.
No.
Barbecue sauce.
No.
Spinach.
No.
Egg.
No.
Broccoli.
No.
Raw tomatoes.
No.
Olives.
No.
Anchovies.
No.
Mushrooms.
No.
Clams.
What the hell? No.
Shrimp.
No.
Canned tuna fish.
No.
Chicken.
Yes.
Avocado.
No.
Kale.
Yes, depends.
Ranch.
Yes.
Corn.
I've had it, didn't care for it.
Raw onions.
No.
And the last one, dessert pizza toppings.
Just like a candy pizza or something in general? Sure. Depends if I'm in the mood for it. Lunchables used to give me that option. I didn't really care for it.
So, man, how do you rate your experience on pizza toppings?
The fact that you didn't list a lot of regular toppings I was expecting, terrible. That was an awful survey experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, do you give me permission to include it into my survey?
Sure.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Considering the fact that you asked me a bunch of toppings that I can't even have because of my partner and her allergies. I think only like 6 of those things are actually applicable.
All right, by the way, I got all of those toppings off of mashed.com. These are the most hated pizza toppings. I was not expecting eggs to be on there.
I've never seen eggs on pizza before.
Neither have I. See, like, and then another
chicken was
topping.
on the most hated pizza topping?
Crazy, right?
There's literally chicken sausage and grilled chicken at every single place that I go to.
See, what the one that really got me
and mushrooms too?
I was like, why is broccoli? I've never seen broccoli on a pizza. Have you?
I have raw broccoli. I thought that was very absurd. The fact that
clams.
Pineapple and barbecue sauce was also on there.
Weird, right?
Like, I don't like Hawaiian pizzas or barbecue chicken pizzas that much, but I recognize that's a very popular thing for people to order.
You know, I never would have thought avocado would be on a pizza.
I can see why you would. I can't think of the people who would order it.
Yeah, see, so the picture that they have on here, it's a marinara sauce pizza with avocado, spinach, and it looks like tomato halves, like half of the...
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I'm very surprised.
That's very much like a hipster, like, trying to be healthy.
I'm doing something different. Yeah.
Like thin crust pizza with those toppings.
See, so beneath every one of these toppings, right, there is a little snippet of it. Uh-huh. So for dessert pizza toppings, right, there's a picture. It looks like they have like chocolate spread with strawberries, bananas, and it looks like some form of marshmallows.
Yeah, and it says, that just sounds like a crepe.
It says, dessert pizza, just don't do it. A pizza covered Nutella, chocolate chips, marshmallows, and bananas might sound good, but this pizza isn't truly pizza.
Yeah, man, no, that's a flat crepe. That's a flat crepe. You didn't roll that crepe.
That sounds delicious. I would eat that dessert pizza.
I would if the pizza dough wasn't like a salty base kind of dough. Absolutely. If it was like a sweeter kind of dough, that would be great. Yeah. That would taste great. And then instead of putting like ranch or hot sauce or something on it, throw a little whipped cream on it if you want to splurge.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
So I like to go for meat pizzas. We actually just had Mountain Mike's the other day. Not sponsored, by the way. Oh, nice. And we had the I forget what they call it, but it was essentially like pepperoni I forget how to say it, but it's like basically thin sliced bacon or ham. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like that very thin, like almost prosciutto-ish, but it's not prosciutto.
Yeah.
So
actually, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get no Mountain Mike's like top of the line. You know, I'm over here with standard pepperoni, ham.
It's one of the basic meat lovers pizzas you can order. So I don't. It's probably right under pepperoni or Supreme. In fact, I think it's under Supreme. It's not custom made order. which I normally do when I get pizza. But yeah, it was like a 5-meat pizza with tomato sauce and cheese.
Sounds like a great pizza.
I typically don't really do too much to my pizza. My favorite pizza of all time is probably a Costco cheese pizza.
Man, Costco cheese pizza. So because I worked at Domino's, right? I got to make pretty much whatever I made it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie with you. For some reason, my favorite like pizza dressing was Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
Because you're just eating Alfredo bread.
Yeah.
And then, you just put cheese on top. That was probably my favorite.
You know, it's crazy. When I started going to my girlfriend's house actively, when I learned how to drive to make her dinner and stuff, every time I said I was going to make spaghetti, for like a year, she didn't tell me that she doesn't care for red sauce. Every time I made spaghetti, she assumed it was going to be Alfredo. And I forget how it came out, but I was like, I would have told you I'm going to make Alfredo then, and there would have been chicken and broccoli along with that. And I thought that was interesting too. I'm like, why would you, why would I do that? I told you I'm going to make you spaghetti. I'm not going to...
Go ahead.
I'm not going to tell someone to make them spaghetti and meatballs, and then they get a meatball freaking destroyed in Alfredo sauce.
See, when I worked at Olive Garden, everyone said Alfredo, right? So they have this create your own pasta, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said, can I get Alfredo, marinara, and chicken? What do you think Alfredo was?
They were referring to the noodle?
Crazy, right? The noodle's not called Alfredo.
I'm correct.
But that's how everyone knew it for some reason. And
were they trying to say fettuccine?
Yeah, they were trying to say fettuccine, but
Interesting.
there's a correlation there, I guess. So I got it.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, huh?
Yeah, Alfredo pizza is just very odd to me in general, though. Like, I like Alfredo. I'll make a chicken Alfredo. In fact, I could make it tonight for dinner. I don't like Alfredo enough to eat an entire pizza worth of Alfredo.
Oh, yeah. No, I really liked it. So, when I was working there, I didn't care to get, like, a large pizza.
Yeah.
But I would just get, like, a medium to take home.
Yeah.
And I would do, because my girlfriend really loves cheese, I would do Alfredo with cheese. And it would basically be like, I get a slice or two, and then she just keeps the rest.
Yeah.
And like, to me, it's like, okay, maybe I wouldn't eat all of it, because for me, I'm like, maybe a slice or two is, like, great enough.
Yeah.
Get it away from me.
Alfredo's Alfredo's very much one of those sauces that you could definitely do a plate or a serving of Alfredo. I feel like too much Alfredo, you just get sick of it.
It's a little too heavy, yeah. At least for me, it was really decadent.
I feel the same way about vodka sauce.
Yeah, I never cared too much for the red sauce.
Yeah.
The red sauce, because I don't really eat spaghetti or just pasta. Yeah. I'm not really that type of person. I would rather order the chicken marsala or the other chicken and mashed potato dish they got on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I'm feeling fancy, maybe I'll go for the appetizer.
Yeah.
Calibri chicken, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. You're the one who worked there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, they didn't have that. No, my favorite thing at Olive Garden was actually, what is it called?
Chicken gnocchi.
No, it wasn't the soup. So they had a nacho dish. Not nacho. It was a nacho. They had some form of nacho dish. And they used the wonton, like almost like wonton wrappers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. And then they took it away. And then I cried. And by I cried, I mean, I always looked at the manager and say, why did you take this away from me?
Man. Yeah,
maybe that's why we're big chumps. Because I was over there eating the nachos.
I want to do if they ever bring back the pasta pass, I want to put it on the company card for 2 pasta passes.
Dude, just crazy. Like I don't remember how they do it, but I think it's the pasta pass was they open it up at a certain time, like they announce it.
Yeah.
They open it up and then they sell until it's sold out.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be part of that, but
you should hit up your old manager You should hit up your old manager, and we will definitely buy too.
I wish it was like that because it's an online thing. So
No, but like hit up your boss because there's correspondence for that. People have to be prepared to accept it. So that's very much a hey. As soon as you get notified, let me know. We'll watch the website every day until it's live.
Crazy. Olive Garden pasta pass.
I should just ask ChatGPT to build an AI to watch the pasta pass.
Oh, no.
Notify me when it's ready.
All right, man. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
To duel or not to duel? Life is like an ancient gear golem. You never know what you're going to get.
And with that, I think we will end the podcast.
Thank you.
If you liked it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, you cut me off. Go ahead. Do it.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to do it.
Do it. Go
It's
ahead.
not my fault there's a delay on Discord. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this podcast, I was going to say video. If you like this podcast, give it a 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and give it a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And we are pending to have it on any platform you receive your podcasts on. Be sure to leave us a comment on which one that is so we can prioritize. And we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.